Alright, what's up everybody out there on YouTube? Going ahead and making this video. Title of this video is going to be Thanks for Proving My Point. And this one goes out to the 9/11 Truthinator. Everybody feel free to chuckle there. I did when I read it. Okay, Truthinator. Well, thank you for proving my point. Exactly what I said. This is what debunkers do. Okay, rather than bringing any evidence, first thing he did, right away, what did he do? He tried to insult me. Tried to make a personal attack on me because he had nothing. He had nothing. Yeah, you hear that, Truthinator? You had nothing. You came with nothing. You brought nothing. You proved my point. Just so you know, I planned it that way. I knew one of y'all would make that mistake because I was telling people here in my everyday life, this is what's going to happen. This is the way it works. It's pretty predictable. It's always the same. Whenever evidence or proof is brought before y'all, y'all make personal attacks and start trying to insult people. That's the debunkers. That's the only defense they have. So, thanks a lot, Truthinator, for proving my point on that. Now, go ahead and clean out your ears, because you said that I said planes couldn't melt steel. I didn't say that, did I? No, because you weren't listening. Now listen to what I said. Planes couldn't melt structural steel. There's a difference. Structural steel is hardened, harder than normal steel. There's different types of steel out there, and it has different strengths. Steel is an amazing thing. Okay? Now let's go ahead and talk about where your theory is wrong. I watched your little video about a unique design. Let's talk about this unique design, okay? To say that unique design is the reason why the towers collapsed is completely ridiculous. Alright, let me explain to you something about that unique design. There would have still been parts of the core standing there, even if everything else around it collapsed. Okay, fire doesn't bring down those types of buildings. That type of steel is meant to stand up against a fire, okay? Any big building like that is built with something so that if there's a fire, it will burn to a skeletal structure before the motherfucker collapses. That's the way that buildings are built like that. Common knowledge, okay? Structural steel, very hard. Does not melt until it gets above 2,700 degrees. Those fires could not have gotten that hot. Do you know how hot you have to get fire to melt steel? Do you know what it takes to get fire that hot? Okay, we're to believe that somehow the fire inside this building got that hot, that it melted structural steel. Okay, do you realize when, let's look at some of the most ancient, the best steel on earth, Japanese steel, what the samurais used for their swords. Do you realize how they got that steel as strong as they did? You have to heat it, and you have to get it really hot, and you have to have a special type of furnace to heat this metal in, because you need a certain oxygen mixture ratio to get the heat a certain way. Okay, there's no way that that building generated this heat all on its own without someone controlling the airflow into it. It's the only way. Okay, the buildings would not, secondly, buildings would not have collapsed from a plane going into them like this, from the top down, like that. Okay, if a building hits a plane, okay, this is the building, this is a plane, okay, plane hits the building, it's going to cause a weakened structural integrity right there in the building. So if a building's going to collapse, maybe after a while from heat, yeah, the steel could bend a little, it could get a little weak. That's a possibility. When it does, the building would start to fold where the structural break was. Did the buildings do that? No. Did they crack and fall in half, fall to the side? No. They fell inward. Not possible. Okay, another thing, you say that the floors supported themselves, and when one floor gave out, the floor under it couldn't support that weight. Well, that would have meant that the first floor at the top, first of all, wouldn't have been the first one to drop. But if it was, it would have dropped and it would have hit the floor below it, and there would have been a stop before that, and then it would have went and continued, and there would have been a stop between each floor. There was none of that. That's simple physics, okay? You don't need to be any kind of scientist or freaking math genius to figure that out, okay? That's just something that you cannot deny. That's the way physics work. Things would not fold in on themselves, okay? Now, sure, it could happen maybe once, but 3 times? 3 times in a row exactly the same way on the same day? Not possible. Not even by coincidence, dude. The fucking, just the odds of that are astronomical. It's not possible. Then we're supposed to believe that this third building, World Trade Center 7, I know you guys like to call that the conspiracy nuts smoking gun, but it kind of is, okay? That building had no reason to collapse in on itself. Not from fire, surely, okay? It would have burned to a skeletal structure. It wouldn't have collapsed. That building was not built with this same unique design that the other 2 buildings were built. So, answer that, Truthinator.